Right now, as you're watching this video, something invisible is happening. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, generate an image with Midjourney, or use AI to write an email, you're making someone else rich. Not a little rich, generationally wealthy rich. And here's the disturbing part. You have no idea who they are. The companies controlling AI aren't just building helpful tools. They're constructing the infrastructure of the entire future economy. And once it's built, once the system locks in, the wealth gap we see today will look quaint. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly who owns the AI that's about to reshape everything, how they're positioning themselves to control trillions in wealth, and most critically, whether there's still time for regular people to claim a piece before the door slams shut. Because that window, it's closing faster than most people realize. Let me ask you something. When you use ChatGPT, who are you really talking to? You think you're talking to an AI, but you're actually renting a few seconds of computational power from OpenAI, which is funded by Microsoft, which runs on NVIDIA chips, which processes data stored on Amazon servers. You're not using a tool. You're standing at the bottom of a pyramid, and every interaction you have sends money flowing upward. Here's the number that should terrify you. Over 90% of all AI infrastructure worldwide is controlled by fewer than 10 companies. 10 companies. Controlling the technology that will soon run medicine, finance, education, entertainment, transportation, everything. Think about what that means. In the 1900s, a handful of oil barons controlled energy and became the richest people on Earth. In the 2000s, a few tech giants controlled data and built trillion-dollar empires. Now, in the 2020s, an even smaller group is positioning themselves to control machine intelligence itself. This isn't the future. This is happening right now. Here's something that should make you angry. Every search you make, every photo you upload, every conversation you have online, all of it is being fed into AI models. Your words, your ideas, your creativity, they're the raw material that trains these systems. But who profits from that? Not you. Not the billions of people creating the content that makes AI possible. The corporations that own the models, the companies that control the infrastructure. You're both the customer and the product. Except this time, you don't even get a free service in return. You pay a subscription fee to access your own collective knowledge. Let me give you a concrete example. ChatGPT was trained on billions of human-written texts, articles, books, and conversations. Millions of people spent their lives creating that knowledge. Who got paid when OpenAI monetized it? The writers? The researchers? The people who actually generated the intelligence? Number. Only the people who owned the servers that processed it. This is the new economic model. You produce the raw material for free. They refine it into intelligence. Then they sell it back to you at a premium. And we're just accepting this. Want to know how serious this is? JP Morgan's 2025 report called AI, the single most deflationary force since electricity. Translation: AI makes everything cheaper to produce, but it concentrates all the profits at the very top. Every worker replaced by AI, that's a cost saved by a corporation. Every task automated, that's profit margin increased for shareholders. The global AI market is projected to hit $1.8 trillion by 2030. But here's the catch. Less than 1% of the global population will directly own any meaningful piece of that value. We're watching the creation of a new aristocracy in real time. And unlike previous technological revolutions, this one is moving too fast for most people to adapt. You know what the scariest part is? The biggest investment banks and hedge funds already know this. They're pouring billions into AI companies not because they believe in innovation, but because they've done the math. They know AI infrastructure is about to become the most valuable asset class in human history, and they're buying in before the rest of us even understand what's being sold. Remember when governments used to break up monopolies? Standard Oil, AT&T, Microsoft in the 90s? Today's AI landscape makes those look like lemonade stands. Microsoft doesn't just invest in OpenAI, it provides the cloud infrastructure, the computing power, and the distribution. Google doesn't just own Gemini, it controls the search engine that feeds it data, the ads that fund it, and the platforms that deploy it. Amazon, Meta, NVIDIA, TSMC, they're not competing. They're collaborating, creating an interconnected web of control where each company owns a critical piece of the infrastructure. If you control the chips, the data, the models, and the cloud services, you control intelligence itself. And that's exactly what's happening. Nations are starting to panic. Europe launched antitrust investigations. China is racing to build state-owned AI models. The US government is quietly funding open-source alternatives. Why? Because they understand something most people don't. We're entering an AI Cold War, not fought with weapons, but with models. And whoever wins will shape the global economy for the next century. Here's the part nobody's talking about yet, but you'll feel it soon. Every time you use AI, you're paying a tax. Sometimes it's obvious. A monthly subscription, an API fee, a usage charge. But often it's invisible. Your data being harvested, your patterns being analyzed, your behavior being monetized. Imagine if every time you had a thought, you had to pay rent. Every time you created something, you owed a fee. Every time you solved a problem, someone else took a cut. That's what the AI economy is becoming. Intelligence rent. The more dependent we become on these tools, and we will become dependent, the more power these companies accumulate. They're not just building products. They're building infrastructure you won't be able to function without. And once you're locked in, once society is locked in, the prices can go up. The terms can change. The control can tighten. Because where else are you going to go? But there's hope. And it's coming from an unexpected place. Around the world, independent researchers and open-source communities are fighting back. They're building AI models that anyone can download, modify, and run on their own hardware. Projects like Mistral, Hugging Face, and Stability AI are releasing models that don't require you to rent intelligence from megacorporations. They're creating what some people call the Linux of AI. Why does this matter? Because OpenAI, and I don't mean the company OpenAI, I mean genuinely open artificial intelligence, means distributed power. It means you don't need permission to build. You don't need to pay rent to think. It means the benefits of AI could actually be shared instead of concentrated. This isn't just an ethical argument. This is about economic survival. If you can run your own models, you're not dependent on corporations that can change their terms overnight. The battle between open and closed, I will determine whether the next economy is feudal or free. So what does all of this mean for you? It means the rules of wealth creation are being rewritten right now in real time while most people aren't paying attention. The next generation of millionaires won't be defined by their college degrees or their geography. They'll be defined by how quickly they understood this shift and positioned themselves accordingly. Here's what you need to understand. The opportunity window is open, but it's shrinking every month. Right now, you can still learn to work with AI at a level that puts you ahead of 99% of people. You can still build digital products powered by AI before the market gets saturated. You can still position yourself as someone who understands this technology while everyone else is confused by it. But that advantage is temporary. 5 years from now, basic AI literacy will be table stakes. 10 years from now, the infrastructure will be completely locked down. The winners will have already won. So the question isn't whether I will create opportunities. The question is whether you'll move fast enough to capture them before they're gone. Learn to fine-tune models for specific use cases. Build AI-powered products that solve real problems. Create systems that use AI as a tool, not a replacement. Don't just consume AI. Build with it, before everyone else figures out how. So who owns AI? Right now, a handful of corporations control the infrastructure. But who will control the future economy built on top of it? That's still being decided. And it's being decided by the people who understand what's happening early enough to act. AI won't make everyone rich. It'll make the prepared unstoppable. It'll make the informed powerful. And it'll leave everyone else wondering what happened. The wealth concentration we're about to witness will be unprecedented. But unlike previous technological revolutions, you're watching this one unfold in real time. You have information, you have warning. The question is, what are you going to do with it? If this video changed how you see AI and the future economy, hit that like button so YouTube shows this to more people before it's too late. Subscribe, because next week I'm breaking down exactly how the first AI billionaires are positioning themselves right now, and the specific strategies regular people can copy. And drop a comment. If you could own one piece of the AI economy, the data, the models, the infrastructure, or the applications built on top, which would you choose and why? Think carefully. Because in 5 years, that answer might determine your entire financial position. The game is happening whether you play or not, but at least now you know the rules.